I'm in a good mood today.
Let's listen to some Christmas music. Let's play a little Christmas music over this.
You want to play some Christmas music?
After Mark.
Huh?
Hold
Oh.
Coming to you live on the Government Access Channel from Mario Bagnoni Chambers in beautiful downtown Erie. It's the Taxpayers Hotline Show with your hosts, Kaz Kwiatkowski and John Steiner.
Well, John, what's that? Oh, you're in the mood.
Guys, I got the Christmas shopping done. Got the Christmas shopping done. We need some eggnog, good time. Get a haircut.
Yes, I did.
It's looking good.
And John, I got an early present yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, I was hoping for two, but it didn't work out.
No, you don't press your luck, Kaz. You're lucky to get one.
Well, my second team, the Buffalo Bills,
Oh, that was a good
they
present.
brought tears to the black and gold nation.
The phone's ringing.
Go ahead, you take a shot. Oh,
What?
oh.
Call back.
Yeah, it was a great moment.
You know, I see. I like a different team. I follow the Titans. We were the Oilers, and now the Titans. That game made me happy too. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, John, I was going to ask you. You know, they were talking about on the news about the community college
Yeah.
and that. Didn't they close Collegiate and Academy down?
No.
They didn't.
Not the high school. They didn't. No.
What's that, John?
Collegiate Academy.
What about it?
Why is you got so many schools are vacant?
Yeah.
But why don't they use that for a community college? Then they wouldn't have to build a building.
Was he thinking Academy? Was that?
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, they were in discussion about some of the schools. I know Emerson Gridley was a possibility. Wayne has been sold and refurbished. I know there's another location that they're talking
There's
about.
probably one on the east side, isn't it? Which one is it?
They want something in the city where, you know, people that within the inner city you actually need you can visualize it and people know it's there, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, that's going to make it tough. There's no schools outside of Piper Burley.
Right.
A school closed on West 8th.
On West 8th, St. Andrews, you referring to?
Yeah, I
Oh
think
no, that's 6th. That's 6th.
There's somewhere on 8th and what is it, Poplar or something?
Oh, I don't think there's a school on 8th, but there's one on 6th and 10th.
You know what the problem is with a lot of the private schools?
No, because you figured if they can use that for a school for a community college, and they won't have to build it. They wouldn't have to build a school.
I'll tell you right now, I think the odds are very, very low that they're actually going to build a school. I think they're going to take an existing structure that's already off the tax rolls.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, they use a school that is vacant.
Yeah, but they probably got to figure. We don't know what size they're looking for. Number one.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the private schools, the problem they have with private schools is they're not ADA accessible.
Right.
And they don't have enough bathrooms. And I mean, you laugh at that, but when the Erie School District was looking for a couple temporary buildings, when we were renovating ours,
Yeah.
we had to get what they call emergency waivers because they didn't have the ADA capabilities and all that.
Right.
So, I mean, that's another factor is that if you put a school in there, you're going to have to bring it up to certain standards.
Yeah, and another thing, is Strong Vincent, that's not closed, is it?
It's a
No, that's open.
middle school now.
Okay, that's a middle school there.
Everyone's open except for, I think, let's see,
Wayne closed.
Wayne closed. There's one on the east side. Is
Gridley
Was
closed.
Burton still?
Buffalo Road ain't there.
Burton's been gone.
There's a few that are open, but then again, you got to look at size, layout, what they're looking for. And then we don't know, here's another factor. If they're planning on doing like Central, well, not Central, Tech had, where you're gonna have some shop classes in there, you're gonna have to have the building wired to be able to take that.
Right.
So, there could be a lot of decisions, trying to find a building that you can have classes, both technical and otherwise.
Right.
Because some of the old buildings weren't, like when we moved back into Memorial years ago,
Yeah.
when they closed Academy,
No, that's
the
it.
building couldn't handle all the electric.
Right.
How about Roosevelt?
That's
Roosevelt's empty too, ain't it?
Roosevelt is being torn down.
Oh, they're gonna tear it down?
Yeah.
Well, they could sell it, but I don't think they
They're
would.
tearing it down.
They've already said that?
It's already known it's gonna be torn.
Unless somebody comes in the last minute wants to buy it, no?
There's nobody it's so
Well,
dilapidated.
what I would tell him was, the problem with that school is, yeah, it's old, it has to be rewired.
Yeah, I mean, the schools in our district are, other than really East, Central isn't too bad, or Tech, or I don't even know what it is, Erie.
Are they gonna tear down that stadium too?
No.
No.
Oh,
Well, if they did, that probably got a covenant from years ago.
They just put in the new turf up there too, so it's
Yeah.
definitely.
No, he's talking about Ainsworth.
Are you talking about Ainsworth or the Veterans Stadium?
no, the stadium over where Roosevelt has that stadium.
No, they're keeping that.
But that one there, that's probably was
Ainsworth.
handed down.
Yeah.
It was called the athletic field until they renamed it.
I like Ainsworth Field. I
Yeah,
remember
but-
when the old Erie teams, Erie Sailors.
Trouble is, it needs a lot of work.
Well, it's definitely not, 21st century.
The man that was gonna really do a job on it was, Mr. Brandell.
Yeah.
And, at the time, we couldn't get 5 votes on the school board.
To do what?
He wanted to renovate it.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah, he was gonna go in there, renovate the grandstand,
Oh, really?
paint it, put up new fencing, the turf was gonna be fixed, and.
What was the catch?
At the time, well, the only thing he wanted, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, the only thing he wanted was, a couple days a year for his own use,
Yeah.
cause he's a big baseball fan.
Yeah, he's got the indoor facility over
And
his
he
place.
wanted to bring some tournaments in. So
Yeah.
we were looking at all kinds of things like having concerts there, small wrestling and boxing matches.
Yeah.
The problem that with the neighborhood was you don't have parking.
Right.
You'd have to get some. That always was a drawback. And then the size of the stadium and layout, it's not really good for a lot of things, with the size.
Right.
But you could have had some things in there.
Yeah.
The last viable offer we had was from women's professional softball, and that died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that never got off the ground.
Yeah.
So once pro baseball left, the school district takes care of it a little bit, but probably not as good as they would be if they were under pressure.
Right.
Go ahead.
And another thing I want to ask you, did you ever check that place on 12th and just past 12th and Westler?
I haven't got out there. I should try to get out there. I gotta go out there in the next week or two. I'll see if I can take a look at it, okay?
Kaz, he's an east side rat, man.
Well, no, I don't get to the west side that far out that
Yeah.
much.
Right.
I used to go to airport meetings, but they moved them now, so.
Where to?
They're at the Intermodal Center.
Oh, really?
So I used to go out 12th Street all the
Yeah,
time.
right. That's interesting.
Yeah. Hey, I hope you guys, you two have a nice Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You too.
I sure will. Gonna try.
Thanks.
And keep some of that holiday cheer near you.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, what's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on. Everybody's
You
got
gotta
a
have
favorite
one.
Christmas song.
There's Santa Claus is coming to town.
There you go.
You better watch out.
That's
better
you.
not cry. You better not cry.
There you go. I gave you some Santa Claus is coming to town. You there?
Down there.
Have a good Christmas.
Hey, you too.
Okay.
Bye.
See, Kaz,
Man, you're just all, you're right there.
Kaz, I got it. I'm set. I listen to Christmas music once a year. Other than that, I hate it. But I do listen to it like this time of the year. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, hi. I'm calling about the city's budget. What's going on with the city's 2020 budget?
Well, we're still debating it. We're gonna wrap it probably, hopefully up tomorrow night.
Okay, can you tell me on what's coming down the pipeline?
Well, there's a couple different methods. One is there might be a real estate tax increase. One, there might not be. It could be somewhere in between. It all depends how council looks at that $90 million handout, that prepayment the mayor would like to get from the water authority.
I did see that.
Whether we use it or not will depend what happens.
You guys, I know I saw somebody, you guys were talking about tabling it for next year.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be the case.
To do like a study on it, which would be smart.
Yeah, we don't know whether it's such a good deal because it came on late in the table.
No,
You will see some increases in fees for sewer.
Why? Just gonna see people gonna leave the city because of the high increases now.
You're right.
You're gonna, destroying the city's populace.
Well, I would ask you this.
it doesn't help, I agree.
It doesn't help, but what are you gonna do? We have costs that have gone up, to make legitimate cuts. I'll tell you exactly where they would have to be. They'd have to be in personnel. And that would probably be in public safety, which they've done before.
There's only,
And I don't think the public has the appetite for that.
caller, you gotta remember, there's only 10% of the budget that,
Public safety's being cut.
Pardon?
What public safety's being cut?
because there's only 10% of a budget.
Because I'll tell you this, here, this is real simple. 82% of the budget is wages and benefits and debt, okay?
Police being cut?
No, I said we would have to, because 82% of the budget is personnel and benefits. And of that 80%, a ton of it, part of it is public safety.
Does the city want to cut the police?
No, I didn't say that. I said that's the only place you could make legitimate cuts, and that's not gonna happen.
Cut police, or there'll be a big outcry.
Well, sure, but now I'm gonna ask you,
Nobody wants.
where do you get the money to pay them?
That's true. Hey,
I mean, you know, everybody tells me, well, you know, do this. There is nobody to cut except you can cut a few people in the streets department, and there's not that many there. I mean,
There's
that
a
would,
few other people you could cut in other areas.
yeah,
too.
but it's not going to make a difference. It,
Yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah.
you got debt and contracted salaries and benefits.
Yeah.
That's a big part of the budget.
Right.
yeah, maybe cut the benefits, but maybe keep the same pay, but cut the benefits.
Well, you can't. They were
can't.
negotiated.
That's a negotiated.
Well, but the unions might not budge. Look at the police union, never budges on nothing.
They're not going to budget.
Well,
If it goes to arbitration, they're not going to lose.
Yeah, but they got something better than arbitration.
What do they got?
Binding.
Oh,
They got binding means when we deal with public safety, we have binding arbitration, and when they win,
That means nothing.
pardon?
That means nothing.
What do you mean means nothing?
they binding arbitration. They always win.
Binding arbitration is a matter of law. Once both sides agree,
I know more about the law than the people in city council.
who does?
I know more about the law.
Okay, where'd you get your degree from?
But what's so funny? Who's laughing?
I'm not laughing. We want to know where you got your
I'm
degree
laughing.
from.
I have a master's in law.
In law, where? What school?
Down out west, where I come from, out in California.
So you're not practicing, right?
What school did you go to?
I went to Gannon University,
He went to the University of
and
Phoenix.
I have at least 20 credits in law.
That's good. I have 60 credits in
Okay,
law.
good. But
I have 90.
are you a jurisprudence?
No, I have a master's in law.
But you're not a practicing attorney.
No, I'm not. I have a master's in laws. It's the
Laws.
same thing as a JD.
Hey, what's your favorite Christmas song?
I'm Muslim. Separate church and state. This is a violation. Separate church and state. What's going on?
What's your favorite Christmas song?
I'm not Christian. I'm Muslim.
Yeah, but if you had to listen to a Christmas song, what would it
But you
be?
didn't want to hear a Christmas song.
You don't like Christmas? How come you don't like Christmas?
How come you don't like Islam?
We didn't say we
I didn't
don't.
say that.
Didn't say that at all.
Not at all.
You guys are changing the subject.
I
You
think-
guys get no answer.
No. What I think.
Well, I
you're-
mean, actually, your 5 minutes is up.
yeah,
but we
and
just
what I
wanted
think
to ask
what I
another
think you've been
question.
trying to do is bait us ever since
Yeah,
the beginning of the year.
He always tries.
Yeah, so you have a nice Christmas and
It's more clown talk.
nice Hanukkah, and nice
Have a good day.
Kwanzaa and whatever else.
Enjoy the law degree.
But, no, I mean, the budget is, where are you gonna cut, you know?
There's only certain areas.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, your city council guys decided to raise our taxes. Are we gonna get any kind of expanded services?
No.
Probably not.
Well,
I mean-
hey, I got an idea. It's real slippery up here in the edge of the streets, particularly on 41st Street. Really, really slick.
Well, see, I live in that area. Where are you? 41st and what?
East or west?
East, between Davison and
Give me that, you got a pen? Between Davison and where?
Burton on 41st Street.
41st, between Burton and Davidson.
And I'm not talking about the middle of the street,
Yeah.
but the very edge, you know.
Have they salted it lately or not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the problem is they're not salting the edges. They should pay particular attention to those. Now, here's another thing.
What do you mean the edges? You mean you're talking about on the side of the road like?
Yeah, toward the curbs or the edge of the road. Now, here's another problem too. There's a few houses up here that the water in their yards just empties out into the street. And has collected ice patches for years now, and no one's done anything about it.
You mean the water is moving out? You said, I'm gonna put this up a little bit. The water is, coming out into the street?
Well, no, it's running off your yard.
Oh, okay, and it's going out into the street?
Yeah, like if you were to check out the corner of 41st and Brandes, okay,
Right.
you would see that the water just runs off this property all the time. It has for years, and all the time in the wintertime, there's ice patches all the time.
Yeah, the problem we got up there, even on my street, none of us have curbs, gutters of any type, runoffs. So it's not unusual, even in my yard, for water to run off.
Well, now that they're going to tax us more, maybe we could get some of those things put in.
Well, the only way that's gonna happen, I tried to argue for years about, it's not gonna be painless, but we need to address, especially the streets up above 38th Street on the east side. None of them were ever put in properly.
Get something out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you. Looking into the problem we have right now is just to maintain the present level of service. Are you still there? Oop, you must have hung up. But just to maintain the present level of service is a challenge.
I mean, we have a full complement of fire, police. That's good.
What we gotta do though, and I agree with them, I think they've done a better job salting the roads and plowing them.
Yeah. I just wish they would do the side roads a little bit better.
Well,
It seems like they kind of ignore 'em.
that's always been a problem.
Go ahead, caller.
What we gotta do is council already did.
What's that?
Slap down the mayor on his proposal.
Which one?
What, you mean the 90 million?
Yes.
Well, I'm not voting for it, and I think we got enough votes, at least we thought we did, to postpone the decision, because I don't think it's a good deal. I just believe in my heart that it looks good, but you don't have any income coming in for 40-some years.
True, and where are you gonna have to get the rest? You're gonna have to go out and borrow money again, refinance a bond. We'll be worse off than what we are with a raise in taxes.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt, John, we're gonna go up to, because of the way they restructured the debt over the years, it's gonna go from like $4 to $9 million, okay? Here's the problem. Until you change your culture around here, and this is what I said at the meeting, meaning we stop floating needless bond issues and attack the problem that's in front of us. It's ugly, it's painful, but I don't think we need to be throwing debt down the road 20 and 30 years.
No doubt about it.
And because that catches up with you. You know, I try to tell my colleagues that many of the problems we have today are results of what council and the mayors did
Of the cans being
20,
kicked.
30 years ago.
Of the cans being kicked years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
You can go all the way back to Tullio.
Well, when he left office, I know people don't want to hear this, and they'll say, I'm being tough on him, but it's a fact. The pension was funded for every dollar that we had to pay out. We only had 35 cents back in it. And that changed over the years. We're up to we're in the high 70s now, but it's taken, you see how long it's taken, John.
True.
The markets go up, the markets go down, we're paying out benefits. But that's all things that...
At pension, and it seems to me that the investment that you've gotten yourself into has paid off greatly.
They have, but they're not, it's hard for that pension fund to get fully funded.
No, not when you're going out and giving all these pensions and the whole works.
Well, yeah, I mean, and there's 3 pension plans, and every one is different. They pay out differently. Some are better than others. But long range, and I try to tell the mayor this, that we have to change the way we do business here at City.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And he was a financial director?
Yeah, I mean, but I said little things like, here's 2 of my big ideas, and he doesn't. I mean, these are unpopular, but when somebody leaves here, you don't give them the salary of the person they're replacing.
No, there's no doubt about that.
I thought they did it.
They do it, and then here's the problem. Okay, let's just say you're a department head. Okay, and the guy or the woman that you replaced was making $90,000 to $100,000, and they had been here a long time. So off the street, or even as the assistant, you're to get that one? No, I don't think so.
No.
I think you have an entry level position.
That's what I thought. They don't do that?
No.
What?
So when they go out of here on pension, you get half your highest salary. Now you see the problem?
Is that how the pension works?
Yeah.
Half of your highest salary.
Or I think it's your highest salary,
For
or
3 years.
your
I
highest
thought it was
average at 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But it's your highest salary too.
I mean, I think it should be capped.
Because usually your highest salary is at the end of your career.
Right. I think there should be a pension cap.
Well, it'd be nice, but you got
to bargain it, right?
These things are all bargain. But John, you're right, and then I think we have to look at the effect that the decisions we make have on a pension. And I think another thing that hurts is when most of the employees live outside the city. That's not good.
I mean, so if you when most of these the higher ups, they make what, 80,000 a year, 70?
At least.
So they would make 80,000 every year when they're retired.
No, they would get half that.
40,000.
Yeah, but if you're making we got a few people in the 100 range, so.
So you make 50,000. You're 78 years old and you make $50,000.
Which is what, $4,000 a week,
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Over 4.
Yeah.
That's like $1,000.
I mean, and they have that I don't
No,
know.
$4,000 a month.
Yeah.
$1,000 a week.
Yeah. 4,000 a month times 12 is 48.
That's not bad, is it?
Hell no, that's great. That's great.
You take that, right, John?
Why, sure, and that to have an early intervention outfit come in and make all these plans and whatever. Why do we have to have an early intervention? Because the state offered a little bit of money?
Yeah, we didn't have to, but the mayor decided he wanted to do it. And of course, when you go at the state and they pay 90-some% of the cost of it, you now have to pick out who they like on their preferred list.
True, and that what good is that? It's just like having somebody tell us what we have to do with our weather up here from California.
And like I say, they tell some towns one thing, to other towns the other thing. And at the end of the day, they have a lot of subsidiaries. Like if we were to do a study on the water department, they have their own subsidiary. So when you start adding up the money, I mean, it's lucrative to be in the consultant business.
Whatever the water department said, we want double. It's like Pawn Stars, you go low, they go low, you go high. I mean, I don't understand.
It's good money being a consultant, right, John?
Sure it is.
Absolutely it is.
And you know what? The paper chastised me once, but I stand by my comment. They're not telling you anything you don't know. They're just they're telling it from a different perspective.
Their own.
Because they're not local, so
from somebody else's perspective, that doesn't mean a thing.
Now, I mean, we've had studies and studies before.
They've studied the studies, and they all end up sitting on the, at least this one, everybody's acting like they're doing something with the,
True. There's no end to it.
It's like they're talking about, one of the problems was this 401 match we had here, the 457, and that amounts to about 900,000. That looks like a lot of money, but in the scheme of things, it's not.
yeah.
They're not attacking the other issues, which is we don't collect parking tickets right. We don't calculate our building permits properly. We're not collecting money on the rental program. We didn't collect garbage right. We have a lot of procedural things here that have to change.
You didn't collect.
Well, you
garbage, right?
can't do it
I
the
mean,
way it
the
used to
fees.
be done. The way it used to be done isn't the way it's going to be done.
No, we have to change the culture around here.
I think Erie is. I think we are starting to. I mean, as far as the government itself has to start changing the way we do business, but I think the business community has pretty much said, you know what, we're not waiting for anybody else anymore. We're going to go do our own thing, and that's where community college comes in, the innovation district comes in. I tell you, I rode by the Erie Insurance I don't know, have you been down here, John, at all?
Oh yeah, I've been down that way.
Oh, that building is beautiful, man. They have done a really nice job. They're working on the insides of it now, so yeah, it's really nice.
And they're paying their fair share of taxes, just like.
Well, they might not for a while. I can't remember if I know they're not on LERTA, but.
Listen, they have paid more taxes.
But they will pay if they don't.
And they are employers that pay a fair wage to everybody. And, Mr. Hagan, who's the CEO, has gone out of his way to do things in this community that no one else will ever.
Well, the hope is that.
Well, look what he's done. He took that old armory and redid it. He took Pansrop's house down below there on 5th Street on the corner.
Yep.
That great big old time house down there.
That he put the,
He took it and he remodeled it. And
5th and German. Take a ride over there, John. They got the old houses over there now.
Now it's going to be interesting.
Take a ride over West 6th Street.
What they do with the North Park Row area,
Yeah. And here's another thing that the people that own the Richford Arms, I saw that they're trying to get a $25 million grant from the Pennsylvania State Housing or whatever. And guess who's like on the board of that? Tom Hagen. So he's, because everybody's, he works with people. He's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's doing a lot. He's not a young man, but he's putting himself out there, and he's putting his money out there to make things happen. And sometimes government needs to catch up with that theory.
true. So, well, I'll get off the air after.
Hold on, I got a quick question for you. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Dominic the Donkey.
Oh God, I got a whole.
I
Hold that thought. I got a Google.
Hey, John,
this.
I'll have to play that for you on my other show.
Oh, I can't play that on here?
Well, you can, if you can find it.
Kaz, I can find anything on here. Hold on.
He calls up on my, hey.
Like the sheriff of Sicily, too.
You call up on my other show all the time.
Yes, we do. And Dominic the Donkey.
And we always get a song for your sister.
Hey, jingity jing, it's Dominic the donkey. Jingity jing,
Got it?
Italian Christmas donkey.
That's it.
La 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 la.
That's old school.
La 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 la.
There you go, Dominic the Donkey.
Santa's got a little friend. His name
You there,
is
John?
Dominic, the
He's
cutest
listening.
little donkey. You never see him kick. When Santa visits his paisans, when Dominic he'll be. Because the reindeer cannot climb the hills.
It's Christmas, we don't care.
Hey, jingity jing, it's Dominic the donkey. Jingity jing.
Dominic the Donkey, Kaz.
Yeah, are you still there, John?
There you go.
He calls my, I do volunteer work at an Italian show.
The Italian show, yeah.
Yeah, and he calls up and he's got a sister in Connecticut.
Yeah.
The kids love that song, though.
Hey, you can't go wrong with Christmas music, Kaz. you
Well,
talking then?
there is one song.
What song's that?
I'm not gonna talk about
You can't? Let's play it.
it. No, we can't. We'll get.
We'll get in trouble again?
We do it on the Italian show. It's not dirty or anything.
Oh, well, if it's not dirty, then we can play it. Go ahead, caller.
You're complaining, no, not complaining, but we're talking about the taxes for the city.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to happen this year, it's going to happen next year, and the year after, and 5, 10 years from now. Same thing. If you don't start getting those nonprofits like Mercyhurst and Gannon, start kicking in money, not a police car once in a while. And I think you mentioned it before, Kaz, some kind of a safety tax or something.
Public safety fee.
Safety fee, yes. They got there's. I went down through downtown yesterday, Saturday, and Gannon owns half of from 8th Street on. All those buildings, they're all over the place. Gannon owns. And what do they pay you? Nothing.
No, we get about. I was looking the other day. They've been giving us about. Once in a while they throw a car in or a fire truck, but we got $100,000 off them, which is nothing, compared to
It's peanuts.
the total tax bill. I saw their total tax bill once, and it was trying to think I think it was like $800,000 a year,
Really?
something like that. Because we get out of Hammond and Vincent, they have what they call a 50% pilot. We get about $1 million out of them.
And what they do is they invest, they're like ticks. They like get into the city, so you have to plow their streets. You have to do everything for them.
Yeah, we found out that we can't tax them right now, but fees are another thing that but we're not, I'm gonna try to study before I leave. I'm gonna put a request in to see if we can charge a public safety fee. See if that's legal in Pennsylvania.
You still there, caller?
Yeah, I'm talking about Mercyhurst too. They're the same way.
Oh, trust me.
Well, it gets better. I found out that, we haven't even inspected Mercyhurst dorms, to my knowledge, and if they can prove me wrong, I want them to, but, basically, they're not even being inspected.
Where do you think all that water where that guy's house, remember his basement?
No doubt about it.
All that water is coming from Mercyhurst College due to their blacktop and surfacing and everything. And all that water has nowhere to go. So where does water run?
Lowest point.
Downhill. And it ran right into that guy's basement.
Florida Avenue, all that area.
All that area gets flooded every year when we have serious rainstorms.
But the thing I'm talking about 2 years ago, they put that $25 million dorm up.
Yep, and you're right.
Yeah.
And they have so much money. These kids from out of town, they're paying like $42 grand a year.
And you know what the administration told me? They weren't aware of any housing or anything up there that would qualify to be inspected.
Mercyhurst costs $50,000 a year, and everybody is crying about a community college. People need to have their head examined.
Did you hear what I said, sir?
No, I'm listening, yeah.
Yeah, could you believe that, John? They said, the administration told me they weren't aware of any building that needed to be inspected up there.
Our theirs?
Yeah, our administration, I said at a budget session,
Yeah.
how come we're not inspecting and getting rental fees? Rental fees or inspection fees,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They were not aware of any building at Mercyhurst. Well, wait a minute. I can see, when you drive up around that Upper East Side, you can see that building. How big is it, sir? About 5 floors or?
Oh, yeah, it's about 5, 6 stories.
I don't know how you can't see that one. And when was the last time you went to a college that didn't have a dormitory on it?
Well, the sisters of, whatchamacallit, run Mercyhurst. We don't want to upset the sisters.
They don't own it no more, I don't think.
Well, they're involved with that up there.
Yeah, but Gannon's paying. Here's the bad thing. Gannon is paying, and I found out this. All the hotels, there's 3 hotels not paying, and 2 of them are on the bayfront.
Yeah.
Okay, you know which ones those are. So they're not being inspected. So if anything happens in there, okay.
Yeah, right. County's not inspecting them either. I don't think they have that.
Well, it's our job to inspect them. They're in the
Yeah.
city.
Right, but that's...
What about those ones on the bayfront? That's another thing, those 2 big, they don't pay nothing.
Nope, we fought them in court and we lost.
School district, I think, is still fighting them.
Yeah, and I think our mayor didn't want to pursue it, and I think he should. I think we need to bring this to a head. I really
There's
do.
reasons why they won't, but
But somebody told me a year or two ago that 42% of the property in the city of Erie is nonprofit.
It's pretty close.
I think it's pretty high. It's higher than that now.
But don't forget, that includes,
It's almost half.
that includes the government too, like the county and the city. But still, it goes to show you that even when you include everything, the courthouse, city hall, the colleges, the hospitals,
The Civic Center,
the civic center, the Warner, right, all the schools,
the entire Bayfront.
two
the
colleges,
The hospitals.
two
yeah.
colleges,
Two colleges, yeah.
and numerous hospitals. You got the VA hospital, the Shriners Hospital,
Yeah.
Vincent Hammett,
Schools.
right. Lecom, part of it's on, the city.
Yeah.
It's a big figure.
If you're going to raise taxes on these people, you want to bring the city back, they're going to move out of here.
I know, the problem is, I disagree with the mayor about taking $90 million and not getting any money for 40 years.
That's a scary thing.
And we're not getting rid of the entire debt. We're still gonna owe about $2.8 million a year. And if he can promise me we're not gonna float more bond issues that are not needed, I mean, really not needed. I'm not talking about fixing roads. I'm talking about if we have a major need that we need to float a bond issue, that's one thing.
What do we have in the rainy day fund?
Not much. Not like the county.
Right.
And see, there's a scary, they had to dip into the rainy day fund too. You keep doing that and pretty soon your rainy day fund is down.
Yeah. What's your favorite Christmas song, caller?
Scrooge, because I don't want to pay no more taxes.
That is funny. Anything else, caller? That is hilarious. I love
No,
it.
he's got a point. I see it, and it makes me sick knowing that we don't have many alternatives.
I know, that's so funny.
We got in this mess because of the way we do business
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
And then nothing's changed,
Yeah.
we look at this, and part of this money, this 90 million, a portion of it, about 4 million or so, is gonna go to pay off this year's shortfall.
Right.
That's dangerous,
Yeah.
because all you're doing is you keep,
You're selling your house and you're not gonna get any rent.
well, council told them,
You're taking all your rent this year.
council said we want little increases every year, if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Not these,
I know one thing for sure, you're saving money on the heat in here today. It's freezing in here. Cold.
but to put a log on, right?
Something. It's freezing in here. But yeah, you don't even know what it's worth. You don't even. I understand we need the money on one hand too, but it's like, oh man, 40 years is a long. How about 10? See, they go 40, you go. You go 40, you go 10.
We suggest-
They go 30, you go 12.
We
They
suggested
go
that.
20, you go 15.
We suggested that, and they said
You gotta play.
it wouldn't.
Pawn stars.
It wouldn't make the impact. Okay,
What's that?
it wouldn't make a meaningful impact.
Oh no.
But here's what at the bottom of it too. We're going to extend at least 10 more years. And I haven't heard anybody disagree with us, but basically we're getting another 10 years for 10 million. That's like a bargain.
For them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
So I'm saying, you keep booting it down the road, you extend their life.
No, how about they give us 10, but then they like loan us money. They give it, it's like an upfront payment. Then we take $1 million off of what they give us every year.
Well, what they're doing is they're prepaying their money.
Yeah, they want to prepay and then get
Then
a
they're going to float a
discount.
bond issue to.
Yeah, and then taxpayers are going to pay for that anyway. It's,
Well,
it's either paid for through your water bill,
Like
but you can spread that through the county.
Right.
That's the only benefit. That bill could be spread out through the whole county.
Trouble is, the city always pays the majority share of everything.
And then we have the nonprofits. We pay the majority for everything. Schools are viewed as not good for good reasons, and taxes are going up. We have no jobs, but we're starting to work on that aspect. I saw what's his name? The Chamber of Do Nothing. At least they're trying to do something now. This new guy, I remember I went to they do their yearly dinner thing. I met this guy, he has good ideas, he's out there. The Chamber of Do Nothing before was just, I don't even know how they even existed, but at least this guy's like, I want to go out and get some jobs and bring them here.
Yeah.
And instead of sitting at a table, going to a show, sitting at a table, you need to proactive. People from the Chamber that work for the Chamber, they shouldn't even be, you shouldn't see them. They should be out somewhere trying to bring businesses here. Not hanging out here, going to different,
Oh, you're right.
patting each other on the backs.
There's a
Erie does a lot of this. Hey, good job, Erie. And then nothing gets done.
There's a famous story about what Buffalo did.
What's that?
Well, they couldn't write the story until it was over, right?
Yeah.
But Buffalo got the idea that they wanted a certain low-cost aircraft carrier,
Yeah.
and the aircraft carrier is very secretive. They don't like to tip where they're going because they're in competition with other low-cost carriers.
Right.
So Buffalo made a real heavy full court press on him. And when you read the story, it was really something out of James Bond.
Yeah.
The leaders of Buffalo were flown to a place in the Southwest.
Yeah.
They were given pseudonames,
Yeah.
AKAs.
Yeah.
They checked in the hotel secretively. They were told that if they leaked any of this to the press, to the public, to their friends, that it was over. And through, I think it lasted like a year and a half, hard work, they pulled it off.
Right.
But it goes to show you that you're right, John, that they should be out recruiting. They should look and say, I'm not saying we would have had a chance for the big one, the one everybody was after,
Yeah.
but there's places out there that you could say, start going after the
I mean, my personal,
like Ruined Water, or
let's say if I was God, okay, and I ruled Erie over everybody. We have water. Every time I'm looking at national news, I'm looking at the internet, California, Arizona, Texas, out west. I mean, they don't have any water.
no, we should be asking.
We should, instead of giving free land, free taxes, free water. We have more. Look at we're almost underwater.
But I mean, we could make a deal with some of these bottling companies.
That type of business.
Let's find out why we can't do it. Is it because of the fluoride? Let's find out.
If fluoride, if it's because of that, take it out. Nobody drinks Erie water anyway.
But I mean,
some people do.
like when we fought for the brewing, that was, the brewing company.
Yeah.
Those are important things, but
We had the juice factory, but that was just.
But we really need to
mishandled.
be out there, we should be at trade shows, I hope we are, talking to like startup industries,
Yeah.
we should be, if we aren't, there's something wrong.
Our climate works against us too. Nobody.
Yeah, but you know
To a
what, John?
point. Nobody wants to freeze every.
That's true, but there are companies that do well up in the north.
Some do. I mean, I know the state. I know what we need to do. I mean, if I was like God, the water, not free taxes, water. Say here, we have this sign right here, sign right here. We'll get. You need a building. We got these builders right here. Sign right there. We'll take care. Boom, 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 and you move into like the area for like the free water zone somewhere, like that's needs to be developed, like somewhere by Hammermill, over that area, in that area, somewhere like that. You have the free water. You don't give away free taxes.
I know that, look, John, I know it won't be easy, but
Yeah.
we need to try at least. I mean,
It's out of the box thinking. At least the chamber. I'm not going to call them the Chamber of Do Nothing anymore. I'm going to call them the Chamber of Want to Do Something. That's their new name.
I mean, you go to Minneapolis, they got stuff.
They haven't done anything.
Right?
What?
They got stuff in Minneapolis.
They do? Oh, yeah.
Minneapolis is cold.
They're not the chamber of do nothing anymore.
Look, we're not a big city. That's part of our problem, okay?
Yeah.
But then again, maybe the attraction of being a small size city that hopefully is turning the corner, maybe that's enough to bring.
You know, Erie is getting some publicity as far as.
Well, it's got to be positive.
I mean, we need to become a smart city. I know there's some people that are against some of that stuff. We need to do that in order to. You know, I remember when everybody was crying about Persinger.
Yeah.
At least he's out there in Seattle trying to bring jobs back to Erie.
Yeah, and what we got to do is stop when we go out of town. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to stop making fun of our city.
Everybody does. You know, there's names for us. You know, the mistake on the lake. You know, this and that. Blah blah blah. It's time to move into the future. The business people are putting their money where their mouth is.
You know what I found out, John? Even in Pennsylvania, we used to have the League of Cities here. We've had it a couple of times now, you know, in the last 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
And these are people that, some of them, they're not from Pittsburgh, all of them, okay?
Yeah.
A lot of them are from out east that are not familiar with this area.
No.
And the Commonwealth doesn't help it either.
People in Harrisburg don't even know where
No,
Erie
because
is.
because the state, well, if you, here, I'll give you an example, John. You cross, next time you go down to Virginia,
Yeah.
you ever go through Lake Breezewood,
Yes.
coming from the south?
That's how you get to DC.
Okay, stop at the first rest stop,
I do.
okay?
Yeah.
Next time you stop there, now I hope it changed.
Yeah.
The one time I went there, I was looking around.
Yep.
I saw Amish country, I saw Poconos, I saw Philadelphia, I saw, you know, the Lehigh Valley, I saw, you know, like I said, all the Amish country stuff, and
Yeah.
I even saw a little bit of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Guess what I saw about Erie?
Nothing.
Right. Now, you go to Ohio, I remember one time I went there and they had maps of every city in Ohio, no matter where you were in Ohio.
Yeah.
They had a map of it, you know, a complimentary map. They had flyers. It's hypothetically possible. I was in one place where the only things, I was in Pittsburgh, inside a hospital, right?
Yeah.
And on the wall was Waldemar Park being advertised. And I was in another business and there was Nick Scott.
Kaz, we didn't.
Guess what I seen from the city in the Chamber of Commerce?
Kaz, we didn't even have anything on I-90, let alone Green.
And there you go. There's your problem.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, guys. I heard that there's all kinds of arrangements that were made with the Chinese sister city, and I wondered if they chose a spot for Chinatown.
Well, the mayor don't tell us anything. So if they did, I don't have any idea where it is.
I hope he announces it at his press conference.
Well, I hope he would tell us. I was hoping he would tell council before and tell us, at least give us a little inclination.
That wouldn't be normal, Kaz.
I know. I mean, it'd be nice if we had an idea. He could swear us to secrecy. I don't care. But
I kind of missed this topic. What's going on with that?
well, if the Chinese come here for medical, it was medical, right, ma'am?
And for schooling, yeah.
Yeah. So what they wanted was they wanted to develop an area where their students and family members would feel comfortable, like a mini Chinatown. Mm-hmm. So they were willing to invest in that.
I see.
At least that's a story I got. Is that what you got, ma'am?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, someplace where it would be a Chinese motif, and they would feel comfortable. Maybe Chinese restaurants and a couple markets or something like that.
I'm all for that.
They're very high tech over there. I mean, there'd be a lot of cultural differences, I imagine, between here and there.
You know what I miss about the old Erie was when we had all the different ethnic factions in Erie, you could go from one side of town to the other and you would have different markets, different bakeries.
Yep. Like I live in the Balkan Bakery area. I live
Yeah.
in the Russian, in St. Patrick's, the Irish area, and then you have the Little Italy area.
You could virtually.
Yeah.
So you're not against it then, right, ma'am?
What, against the Chinatown?
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily going to be like back in the old days of you go to this district and this district, that doesn't strike me as they build it for us to come there so much as for their people to come here.
I don't think, I think the kids today, though, well, at least until it becomes trendy, they, like even when you go out of town now, the Polish district in Chicago is shrinking. There used to be an Italian district in Cleveland,
They're all shrinking.
They're all shrinking now, but people don't see, first of all, people are moving out of those areas. It's sad in some ways, but it's the way our society is evolving.
If you had to guess, could you imagine where in the city of Erie Chinatown might go?
I would think they'd want it close to, are they dealing with Vincent or Hammond?
I don't know which hospital, or maybe it's both. I know they have Lee Colton, if Mercyhurst was in there.
I would think with all the development downtown going on, I would think it would be somewhere downtown.
I'd say maybe the Lower West Side.
You think so?
That's
like in the West Bayfront?
Maybe. I don't know for sure, but that's where a lot of property is and a lot of what they would be looking for.
A lot of vacant spots these days.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know where they plan on, not warehousing.
I don't know about that.
Where are they going to put their students and stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
That probably has a lot to do with it, whether they're going to have vehicles or cars or.
Well, the Erie, we're expanding. Kind of like when I was involved with the Weed and Seed program, they're having a new program like that on the east side. I saw they're hiring somebody to run that program. It's very similar to the Weed and Seed area, so over in that area would be nice. I think it's between 6th and 26th.
Well, I ran into Wally Brown and a couple of his sisters.
Yeah.
And, they're putting a lot of their efforts now on the east side too, but.
Yeah.
I think this Chinatown, I got a funny feeling it's going to be downtown, but I could be wrong.
Who knows?
Wow, downtown. I wonder how big of a footprint they're looking to have.
Yeah. You could be right. It could be the West. I'm trying to think I don't know how many students they're going to bring here, where they're going to stay. I think that might have a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. What kind of mobility they're going to have.
Erie is definitely a growing melting pot.
Definitely. I just have one other thing to say. The man that calls every week, and hey, I like being able to call and say what's on my mind.
Yeah.
But there is a thing, and I'm not trying to accuse, but there is such a thing as trolls.
Yeah. I think John kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're having a serious discussion, there's always going to be, for some reason, these people that interject nonsense, and sometimes they talk about real important things.
Yeah.
Maybe just causes people to look the other way, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it that guy that months and months and months ago, he mentioned UN Agenda 21, and I know that got brushed right aside by you guys, but that's on the UN's website. You can go there and look at that. But he's such a nutball, so.
Yeah, now he said he was an attorney, but,
He's got he's got a master's of laws, so.
And transgenderism, I know.
Yeah, sometimes he does have good topics, then he gets off base and it just.
But
gets to name calling and.
I've sat down with Mike Mailer and a few others.
Yeah.
And if there was a serious issue, Mike would be the first one that would.
Yeah. I just think that he likes to, hear himself talk, but.
Wait, if there was a serious issue with what does this guy, Mailer, what's he looking at?
What's he look like?
No, what is he looking at? If there was a serious issue with what? Okay.
Oh, Mike's he's the editor of the Gay News in the area, so he's kind of like a spokesperson, I guess. What you say?
Yeah, the LGBT. I'm going to miss a letter in there, but
yeah,
that community. Mike was very active in it, and from time to time he contacts elected officials. He sends us newsletters and.
Well, one of the things.
And issues that concern
When you run for office, they have a questionnaire, and sometimes they have a candidate forum. So that's how they stay active.
Yeah, we should all treat each other how we want to be treated.
Oh, I say that too. When people tell me they came up to me once and they said they wanted to kick out a certain segment of people from, the military. And I go, so I can count on your son or daughter to take their place?
Yeah.
And you heard nothing,
What's your favorite Christmas song?
I was trying to think of that before I called, but, oh wait, no, there's it's not really my favorite, but the Emmett Otter and the Jug Band. I know my dad.
Emmett Otter.
Oh, you know this one?
Absolutely.
John, you are the wizard.
Everybody knows Emmett Otter and the Jug Band.
I don't.
That's one of my. Well,
I must have missed this one.
let's see if it's on here. Emmett Otter. Let's Google him. See what we get here. Oh, I gotta learn how to spell. Mike walks in and threw me off. 5 minutes.
Well, we're gonna play your song for you, man.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Hey,
Thank you.
we'll see you after. Well, I think we're gonna be back next week.
I think we are, aren't we?
You had to check, but you have a good Christmas, okay?
You too, thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
You too.
Is that what's that?
Let's see if they play
Commercial?
a song.
That's Emmett Otter?
I think it's the movie. It's its show. Yeah, that's just the show. Here's one I like, Cass.
The Disney Sunday Movie, brought to you by...
That's old school, Emmett Otter.
Wow, you go back a little bit, John.
Yeah. These guys were here. Tell me who this is, Cass.
TSO?
I didn't even get this question out of my mouth and you got the answer.
I've seen them a number of times here.
They are really good.
They and Mannheim Steamroller are pretty good.
Who's that?
Mannheim Steamroller, they're another one.
I never heard of them.
Yeah, they're playing in Erie this year.
I don't think TSO's coming.
No,
in
I
here.
think they sometimes put off and they come every few years.
Yeah. Listen to that. That's powerful stuff. Their shows are awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, their light shows are so good. And their choreography and...
I think sometimes if you see them for a couple of years, you want to take a little break. But they change the show every year as far as the choreography part of it.
Yeah, they didn't come this year. I was looking. I was going to actually go.
I think they try to, well, what they do is if they come too many times with the same show,
Yeah.
they kind of lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we're not Erie or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right.
But they are doing 2 shows now in Erie lately.
I know. They're not doing it. I would have went this year. But I hadn't seen that they were coming. I think Buffalo were playing from out here.
Yeah, I was looking on their schedule. They got 2 shows.
Yeah.
And like one is here and one is there.
Yeah. Not Erie though.
Well, I think they'll be back.
Yeah, but usually they're here every year.
They used to, every time I went, they were sold out.
They always sold out. So,
But yeah, try Mannheim Steamroller sometime when you're at home.
okay. What do they sing?
They do Christmas shows too.
Let's Google it, or let's... Mannheim, there you go.
Yeah.
Here's one of their songs. Celebration, Christmas Lullaby, Deck the Halls.
The one I like with TSO is She's Coming Home. You ever heard that one? That's a good one. About the little girl coming home.
Yeah.
And that one in Pachelbel's Canon, when they play that. See, Mannheim's a little bit like TSO.
Yeah, they're like similar. What was the one you liked from TSO?
Oh, there's a couple. She's Coming Home and...
Mike's giving us the 1 minute. Is that the 1 minute side?
You still have a minute to call in if you'd like.
Yeah, Kaz.
Hey, are we on the air next week, Mike? Okay, City Hall's still open then.
So next week's the official Christmas show? Nice.
There's
Yeah, Mike has to dress up as like an elf or something. Mike,
I heard Santa Claus is coming, maybe.
people keep telling me to dress up like Santa Claus.
Is Mike gonna come as the elf?
Mike's with the elf. I'm Santa. No, I'm not.
I can't wait to see those curly shoes.
No, I'm not coming in as Santa. Mike, I could see that.
You know, DJ might show up as Santa. Who knows?
You know, DJ he might show up as anything. I haven't seen DJ or heard from him.
Where's DJ?
Yeah, he's like Carmen Sandiego. Let's put on some Christmas music as we cut out.
As we head off?
You think people are sick of me today with this?
No, I think we had a pretty good show. I mean,
Yeah.
people are shopping, getting ready for the holiday.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's find a good one. What's the name of the one you liked?
There's a couple of them. There's Pachelbel's Cannon or She's Coming Home.
Let's see if I can find it in here.
I think that's a word to it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't. That may not be the titles of it. That's the only bad part. I like the one where they go. Dun, 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 dun. I don't think this is it. I don't think that's it.
That's a good one. Oop.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, caller.
12 Days of Christmas.
Oh yeah, we gotta play that.
We'll do that as we go off the air, right?
Yeah, I gotta get that one.
Is that okay, sir?
Yeah, good.
You want to say anything before we go off?
He just wants to hear the song.
Okay.
Hey.
Have a good day.
And John, it was as we go off the air.
Yes, I know.
We have our Christmas show next week.
Today was kind of like the pre-Christmas show.
Right. Kind of like Advent. Well,
we should give a present to our favorite caller next week. A gift certificate to someone we love. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. Let's get out of here. People are sick of us.
You have been watching Taxpayers Hotline, recorded live from the fabulous city of Erie, Pennsylvania.